Hello, I'm Stephanie from Parkinson's Queensland. I'm the nurse. And today, since it's the week of Continence Week, I thought I might talk to you about continence in relation to PD. Now, first of all, continence is the ability to control your bladder and bowel. And as we all know, that can be quite challenging for a variety of reasons. There are several reasons why you may have problems with your bladder and bowel. If you have concerns, the first thing to do is a good idea, go to your GP and get them to check you out to make sure that you haven't got an infection or you haven't got a problem that may be unrelated to your Parkinson's disease. For example, for the gentlemen out there, the prostate, and for the girls out there and the women, keep in mind if you've had children or you've got anything else gynecological, that can affect pelvic floor exercises I'm sure everybody's heard about. So that's some of the things you might need to look at. There are other things that can also be going on in your body that it's a good idea to get checked out first. Now, given that you've got that, a bit of explanation about the bladder system is you have a fairly complicated system for something that's fairly important. So you've got your kidneys, you've got your ureters, you've got your bladder, you've got your urethra. Now, for all of that to work, you've got fluid coming in, it goes through your kidneys, who then send it through the ureters into the bladder, and the bladder's like a balloon and holds it all. Now, we've all seen what happens when balloons get over full, overstretched, don't work very well, things start leaking out. So that's something that we have to look at. Now, for the signals to work, when you're a Parkinson's person, you struggle with the signals around your body. We all know struggles with walking, sometimes talking, sometimes digestion. The thing about the bladder is the bladder itself has to send the signal to the brain to say, I'm full, I need to be emptied. And then it has to come back to the bladder, who's then able to control it and send it out. Now, if you've got a few conditions, there's urge incontinence, which means you don't have a lot of warning, you suddenly need to go, and it can be as simple as you stand up, you need to go. It can be something as picking something up and suddenly you need to go. Then there's retention. Sometimes the signals get a bit mixed and you can't empty your bladder properly and it feels quite full, and then suddenly it'll go at a time that's not quite so easy for you. Then you've got other things such as overactive bladder, which means that you feel like you're needing to go every 20 minutes to half an hour, and that can be a real challenge, and certainly in social situations. So what we'll look at is what you can do about some of these things. Well, the doctor, that would be a good place to start. Then if you are having some of these issues, you can look at something like a toileting schedule. So looking at, okay, I'm drinking this fluid, I know coffee makes me want to go to the toilet, so when I drink my coffee, I know I make sure that within 20 minutes I'll probably need to go. So looking at things like that. There are a variety of products which can also help. So for example, if you have a little bit of bladder leakage, you might only need something small, but you can also get something a bit more complex, which is good, which is pull-ups. They also are quite good for when you're going out, and even if you're not sure if you're going to be able to access a toilet, they can be quite good, and these days they're quite discreet. If you have this an ongoing problem, something that you can look at is what sort of products you can access through your care package. Now, many care packages, if you talk to the person who is involved in running those, you can look at what sort of access you may be able to get to continence products. Now, I've just done a quick rundown of what happens with urinary, but there's also fecal incontinence. Now, that's often a little bit more embarrassing because there's an odour that comes with that. And that can be caused by a variety of things. Anatomically, you can have a problem with how your sphincter is working, which means that it doesn't close properly, but constipation is one of the reasons it may not close properly. So that's something you might need to look at. And we all know how constipation and Parkinson's works together. It is a major problem. With Parkinson's disease, you've got the neural pathways as well that work with the muscles pathways. And if they have to work together, sometimes they work quickly, sometimes they work slowly, sometimes it's when the medication's at its best, sometimes when it's wearing off. So there's all these things together that create the problems with continence. That's a very quick rundown of Welcome to Continence Week. It happens to a lot of us. We all started out as an issues with incontinence. So this week, if you are having problems, remember, you can talk to your GP. Your GP can refer you to a continence specialist who can work with a variety of things. And you're always welcome to ring Parkinson's Queensland and have a chat with me. Thank you.